Sweet. So we're going to start because we got 25 minutes. So we got how to create nearly unlimited leads for like less than $2.68 per conversion, right? Facebook is awesome, and Ryan and Shane's going to like can kill that here in a little bit, I promise, okay? But like we with Twitter can drive insane amounts of traffic for literally not spending anything but time, okay? Next slide, because I don't even know my presentation. Okay, so here's what we're doing. That's all we got. Next slide. All right, so here's what I've been doing. I've been using Twitter to reach over 76,000 people in like 3 days, okay? And I was adding people to my email list like pretty much almost daily. They're going through the funnel. I'm setting up JVs. If I was a podcaster, I was setting up guest interviews, but I was doing Google Hangouts. I was doing Skype interviews. I was finding guest blog posts. All the stuff came from me just building relationships on Twitter. Next slide, Jonathan, please. I wish I had a little boop, boop, boop. So here's my stats, because it's like I can talk and teach in content, but let's just look at the numbers. So between February 24th and then 2 days later, we reached 70,622 people, right? Those are the accounts. The impressions that we had were 102,448 impressions, right? So next slide, let's look at what happened. So how does this like translate? Because like any of you guys can do this.
What's an impression on Twitter?
They're seeing your information. It's eyeballs looking at what you got going on, okay? So I'm going to teach you guys by the end of this presentation how to optimize your Twitter account so it's generating the traffic to the site and then converting. So we're going to go through a 4-step process, which I'm going to outline here in a second. But I wanted to show you kind of the power of this before we get into the content. So here was a guy, one of my clients, he's a Canadian country artist. He had no Twitter account, like did not exist. And he's like, hey, bro, you know, I'm doing pretty good. I have these songs, you know, I'm topping charts in Canada, top 10 country artists, but I just can't figure this Twitter thing out. And I was like, cool, well, let's try some things. So number one, we positioned him as an authority by doing a branded custom background, right? So I'm going to talk about packaging. You are only as good as you show up. You can be badass offline, like show up completely confident, completely certain, completely clear. But then when you leave that room, people are going to Google you. And based upon the way that you show up offline, if it's not congruent with your confidence level, everything goes to shit. Because you lose credibility, because they're like, well, here's this person that had certainty, but now that I'm coming online to experience their brand, it looks like somebody talked about a 1980s sales letter. I think it was Brian yesterday. And then there's this incongruence, and it's like, what's going on? Now, if we flip this and you have this amazing brand online, then you come offline and you're meeting people and talking to people, and then you're not showing up confident, then they're like, well, what's going on here, right? So we have to play this game of being congruent, both offline and online. So this is what helps position Willie using like some of the as seen, CMT, TVT, billboard, etc., which is positioning him as the authority. When he's reaching out, I'm going to teach you guys a follow game that's going to convert for you guys. If you'll just implement it, it always works. So when they're coming, like, oh, who is this guy? I have to check him out. It builds this like cool factor. It builds this intrigue, right? So brand. Another thing we did was create a short, simple bio, like 3 words talking about who you are, like business coach, podcaster, you know, just like real simple things. And then coming into power, talking about this is who I help and this is how I help them. And then you're having your link to your site, right? So real fast, once you're following people, they're coming into your experience on Twitter, they're seeing a brand, so this is already making an impression upon people. Then they're like, oh, this is what they do, boom, boom, boom. If they're a potential client, they're like, I'm interested. What's going on with this person? They click the link, that takes them to the website. If you have a good lead magnet there, then they opt in, then they go into the funnel. Is this making sense? Yes? Yes. Awesome, next slide. Okay, so does it sound good? We got that, next one. Okay, so who in the world am I? Just share a little story because this is going to come back from like the power stance. So I grew up in East Texas on a little bitty farm. In fact, I still live there. I like it there. It's quiet. We have 48 acres. I live like right next door to my family. My grandparents are across the way. I like it. I like the country. I like the city, but I like the country. So I'm from this place of being a farm boy to going in, and I wanted to do music. So I wanted to be a rock and roll musician. So we went to the Christian rock and roll scene, and then we went from having literally playing in a garage from the farm, to having 2 record label offers, to having radio played, to having a 38-foot tour bus, to playing with all the biggest guys in my industry, and then figuring out, once we got to October of 2009, losing everything. Next slide. So from October of 2009 to March of 2010, I was like, what in the hell just happened? Next slide. My music career was gone. My family got a divorce, so that whole thing after 25 years was gone. I just finished up a contract position that was gone. My truck that I still drive, gone, it wasn't working, right? The girl that I was living with and dating for a while, gone. She's like, you have to go. All because of my ego, because I wasn't showing up and being aware of serving people, right? Because like in the music industry, it's all about you, it's all about being cool, it's all about me, 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 me. And it only works for so long before you can come in and say, how can I show up and serve people, right? So what I'm gonna talk about, how we're gonna be using strategies to connect with people, it doesn't mean if your intent isn't to show up and serve. Like it won't work. Like the little the automated messages when you follow people and you get the automatic reply of, hey, buy my shit or go sign up here. It doesn't work. People don't want that. They're tired of that. That worked in 2009 and 2010, but it's not working today because it's not genuine. We want a genuine connection. So this left me in this place saying, well, what in the world is my purpose for even being here? Like, I like the marketing thing. It's what I did in the band. I did all the tour logistics and all the management and like all the radio brokering deals and everything. So that's why I decided to come in and figure out this whole online space. And this started in 2009 till now. So now, next slide. So now I'm at this place where I get to host really cool masterminds like Nick does, but everything I do is virtual. I'll host live events, and these people, they pay like $3,000 a person to be at a really small event and just connect with really cool people by taking my passion that I had a drive for to continue to get better and better and better and better at, and then intertwining this idea of connecting with people and showing up with genuine concern. Does this make sense? Yes? Cool. Next slide. So we go from this place, and so now I'm spending my time pretty much helping authors, speakers, and coaches figuring out how can I live like an awesome life that I want. How can I love completely, passionately, and fully with their partners, with their friends, with their families, and then launching and monetizing their businesses in 90 days or less. Next slide. So now we're going to go into the steps. So it's going to be a 3-step process. We're going to go to power, we're going to go to packaging, we're going to go to a plan, and then we're going to go to promotion. So step 1, power. This is why I shared my story with you guys. You have to figure out who in the hell you are. John is awesome at this and sharing his story. Nick, you're badass at this as well. Anybody that knows their story and knows how to share that, that's what they connect with, and that's what they use to attract their target market into their world. This makes sense, yes? Yes. Awesome. So here's the framework. Hi, my name is, and then create a tagline. Now, this tagline isn't something that you have to like stay with forever. Allow it to be dynamic. But think about it like a boxer, right? If your name was John Smith and the boxer like, yo, welcome John Smith to the ring. Not really cool, but if you said, hey, yo, John Smith, the body crusher, beat your face in Hamilton to the ring, you have like this persona, right? It just brings energy, it brings charisma, it attracts people. So think of a tagline. So I like using, when I first started, was the creator or the creative entrepreneur. Created videos and videos and videos. Hey, this is AJ Amix, creative entrepreneur, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Now I wanted to like just be that person that's the mentor for creative people who like to create content. So then I just changed the tagline as I just started creating new content. Hey, yo, this is AJ Amix, the creator's mentor. And then go to the next piece, founder or creator of insert your company, right? So John would be like, yo, I'm host of Entrepreneur on Fire. I'm founder of Life on Fire for Nick, right? So whatever the company name is, if you create a product, this is all about positioning, right? Next piece, where I help teach or train who? Who in the hell are we helping here, right? Like narrow it down. If it's women entrepreneurs, tell them. Tell them straight up in everything you do who you're helping and then on what. So they know at a quick glance if they want to come in and experience with you. Because if you're like me, I don't want to spend a lot of time filtering through the information to try to figure out, I think you're kind of cool, I'm drawn to you intuitively, but is it a good fit? Is not a good fit, right? So online, if we can like take that and make it more concise, it helps the end user out. And this is what I learned in music. It's always about an experience for the end user. People don't show up for concerts because they want to listen to music. If they want to listen to music, they'll put in their MP3s. They're going to listen to their CDs. They come to a show because they want to experience. So like we were in rock and roll, so we're like jumping off, like if this was a stage, I'd be jumping off the stage. It'd be like, I had long hair at the time, like headbanging. I mean like this crazy, insane amounts of energy because that's the experience that they wanted. So we have to think, what does the end user want to experience from us, right? And then create that. Last thing is, what's the benefit? So what, you help women who are entrepreneurs on marketing funnels. What's the point, right? So they can spend more time with their family and loved ones, so they can travel the world, so they can actually get paid to do something that they want to do. Like nail it down into the benefits for the end user. Next slide. So if we come, no, stay back there. So like, go back, sorry. So here on my Twitter profile, I have my Twitter handle, which I would encourage you guys just to be a personal brand, straight up, right? People don't really want to connect with the companies, and you'll hear Nick kind of talk about this on, they will connect with Life on Fire because that's like, what, 20,000 something fans, but it costs you more to connect with the people rather than the personal brand, right? So on Twitter, same thing. Go the personal brand route and allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be that voice for your company, and then point them and guide them to wherever you want to go, to the certain promotions, to certain events, etc. Like, be that go-to person and the source for that. You're becoming the curator of content for your space, for your tribe, okay? So I said, boom, AJ Amick's personal brand, use my picture for my profile, business coach, designer, musician, passionpreneur. 4 words that describe me. I used to work at an ad agency. I'm a designer. That's my degree, is in design. I was a musician. I guess I coined this term, the passionpreneur. People seem to be like identifying with it in ways I didn't even know that they would identify it with. Right? And then this whole business coach. And I tell people, I help women all around the world who are authors, speakers, and coaches create programs and get paid. Why did I say women? In all the applications that came into my program, 98% of them were women. So I was like, well, hell, I guess I help women. So I thought, well, what if I tailored my marketing message to that, since those are the people that I'm attracting into my life? And now I have even guys that say, well, dude, I see you help women, but can you help me? Like, are you willing to do that? And I'm like, if it's a good fit, and then we'll have a conversation, it's a good fit, then sure, of course, right? But I'm speaking my market's language. Next slide, John, please. So, step 2, packaging. Am I moving too fast for you guys? No. Okay, step 2, packaging. So I've already talked about this idea of your online presence must be congruent with your offline confidence, right? This is why branding is important. This is why design is important. This is why images and videos, which Brian and Nick talked about. So here's some, like, you guys can take back, outsource it if you want. So your custom background needs to be like 1903 pixels by 1017, okay? Now when you get it designed and you upload it, all you do is log into the back end of Twitter. I could show you guys how to do this, but we have 25 minutes, so I can't really go into the technicalities, okay? So you just go into the settings, upload the image, make it centered. That way when they liquefy their, whether on their 15-inch monitor or 17 or 24 or their phone, that it's all liquid, right? And so also, you want to keep, there's dimensions, which I don't have here. I have on the design template, and I tried to upload it for you guys in a PSD, which I was going to give you, but I couldn't upload it to my WordPress site without going to the back end, and I didn't have time. Anyway, so keep it small on this side and on the right-hand side, because this piece will go away on a 15-inch monitor, and you have just this little piece. This makes sense? So then you could take whatever your lead magnet is and use this as an advertising billboard. For the mobile, for the desktop users anyway. Mobile, not so much. But you're using it pretty much as a billboard saying, hey, go to my lead magnet. Hey, here's my branding piece. Good, yes? Cool. Step 3. So step 3 is going to be creating a plan for you guys. So I hired a social media consultant and said, hey, just create me a content plan, please. So she sent me an Excel document, which I'll be giving you guys at the end of this presentation. So she created me a presentation, just an Excel document, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is my Twitter schedule. 8 a.m., 9, 10:30, 12, 1:33, 4:30, 6, and 8 p.m. Since she's in Canada, they have the whole military time thing, and it's kind of weird. Okay, so now here's the types of stuff I do. I do a blog post, a retweet, a quick tip, a personal touch, a stat, a trending, something like that's trending on Twitter. I don't care if it's Mary Poppins. If I can find something funny to say about Mary Poppins and enter it into my brand, I'm going to say it because it's trending, so it'll get more exposure to what's going on within that space, right? And then a quote, a retweet, a blog. I will also do random holidays because there's a holiday for every year. It's kind of random. It may be like, yeah. This is kind of fun for my brand. I'll do a hard offer every now and then I'll also promote random people. So a lot of times when I connect people and they I think they're up to really cool stuff, I may never even met them, but I like their website, I like their message, I like their video, I like their podcast, whatever. I'll just give them a shout out. Say, hey, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to transition from job, check out John Lee Dumas. Follow him. Just because I'm genuinely concerned, and not really concerned, but like this guy, right? Or like Vanessa in her new book, right? I genuinely like you, so I'm like, hey, go check him out. What happens is then relationships start coming from that, right? It's the law of reciprocity. We give to get. It's a universal law, right? So tap into that. But here's the good thing. I do this all on a Monday. So I will schedule and tweet Monday through Sunday. I will spend my Monday writing all my tweets. I don't have to think about it anymore and sit down at the computer and think, what am I going to tweet? What should I say? If it says a blog post, I point them to a blog post. If I don't have an updated current blog post, I'll point them one that was done a year ago. I don't care. It's still good content. Why not reuse it and send traffic back to it? Still good. My opt-in's still there. It's great. It's still feeding value to the community. And the truth is the longevity of your tweet, maybe 15 seconds, maybe 15 minutes, depending on your followers and how many you have following you, okay? Is this making sense? Yes. So can you guys see how you guys could just go home, create an Excel document, and then populate the content? I use Hootsuite. Use whatever dashboard you want to use. Does this make sense? Yes? Cool. Next slide. So now here's 10 steps to gain massive exposure. Number one, I can't stress this enough, is focus on relationship building, right? When people favorite my tweets, when they retweet my content, I tell them thank you for favoriting. I tell them thank you for liking my stuff. I'm like, hey, I like that you're doing this. I ask them, hey, what's going on in your world? Now, I did learn this one little nuance that was interesting. I asked people, hey, how are things in your world? Everybody said, fine, great, fantastic, perfect. And I'm like, shit, everybody's perfect. Huh, how interesting. So I said, what happens if I change the question a bit? So I said, okay, what do you have going on in your world? Then they're like, oh, well, I'm launching this new program, or I'm trying to get this going on. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Because then I could qualify and be like, this person is a good fit for this. This person's a good fit for this. This person, maybe I could refer over to here. Maybe I could help with this person, or hey, check out this video, by just changing the question just a little bit, right? And then I was starting to getting into genuine relationships with people. Is this making sense? Yeah. Cool. Next slide. So our next slide is retweet content that your audience will find relevant. So when it comes to social, figure out what in the hell you stand for. Nick talked about strategy and your stance and your story. It was story, stance, strategy is what it was, right? So figure out what your stance is, and then let all of your content revolve around that stance. So I won't retweet somebody unless I think their content is going to serve my audience, right? Because my number one concern is serving my people, right? So all of your people, or all of your responsibilities, is to serve your people. So you retweet content that would serve them. So I'll retweet stuff on meditation. I'll retweet stuff on yoga. I'll retweet stuff on green smoothies. I'll retweet stuff on fitness. I'll retweet stuff on social. I'll retweet stuff on campaigns, YouTube, anything that I think will help grow what they got going on, right? Because it's all tied. Meditation helps you be calm and centered. Breathing techniques help you be calm and centered. Fitness actually impacts your business because it helps your confidence, right? All this ties into building their business, so therefore it's affected my life. I'm going to share it with them, and I find people, because I don't want to be a fitness guru, but I'll find somebody that I could feed information to my people with. Does this make sense on the retweet thing and the building relationships? Next slide, please. Give Jonathan a round of applause for rocking the presentation. Thank you. Okay, cool. Next one, share content that adds value, right? So figure out what's really going to add value to their lives and share that type of content. I don't spend long. I don't go to Tumblr and dig through the stuff. I'll come into the search bar within Twitter and just be like, Pinterest tips, social media tips, meditation tips, and I'll quickly scroll through the news feed and be like, oh, this headline grabs my attention. I'll click on it, check out the blog post. I'm like, bump, bump, bump. Great, yeah, boom. Import it into my Hootsuite. Done. That's it. It takes me literally 10 seconds. Okay, next slide. Thank you. Is engage with people. I can't stress enough, on Twitter, you have to engage with people. You have to go like their stuff. You have to retweet their stuff. You're going to have to go follow people. which we're gonna get to this game called the follow game here in a second. That's like the machinery that makes all this work. The content's great until we start following people and engaging with people, then there's no point, okay? Next slide. So next slide is have a content calendar and be consistent. We talked about that one. Next slide. So we have the plan. The next one is play the follow game. I'm going to teach you guys how to play this follow game real quickly. Next slide. And then 9 and 10 is having a profile pic that is you. Don't use your logo. Use a picture of you, okay? Next one, have a bio that's short and descriptive. We talked about how to craft that in the power idea. And then have a custom header. So use this again as a branding piece. Right? So this was from like a live event. It's hard to see from this. And I just overlaid a transparency because red is kind of like my brand. It's my color. I like it. My office has 2 walls that are red. I like red. So use this again as a branding and positioning piece. Right? Like even if it was a picture of John and the microphone that you use a lot on your webinar stuff and the fire, flamey stuff. Yeah, that's good. Okay, next one. The branded background, right, for the impressions. So this makes sense so far? Yes? Cool, next slide. Okay, so here's where we're coming at on promotion. Oh, we're doing awesome on time, sweet. Cool, okay, so here's the follow game. So I spend 15 minutes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday going and following my target market. I know my market are people following, if Nick was on Twitter, that would be following Nick, right? I know my people follow Marie Forleo. I know my people follow Amy Porterfield. Marie and Amy have like 60,000 something followers. I mean like 80,000, I mean lots of followers. This is like a pool of your target market. Now granted, not all of them are like currently tweeting and all of that, but it's a potential for you to connect with people. So I'll go into Marie Forleo's account and I will see who's following Marie, and for 15 minutes I set my timer and I'm like boom, 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 boom. Now here's my criteria. They have to have a profile pic that is a real human being, and they have to have just a long kind of descriptive bio. Because that to me says, cool, they're willing to be transparent and authentic and a real person. And then 2, they took the time to create a bio, so they care. That's my criteria. And so I'll just literally scroll through and just boom, 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 boom. And however many I can get in 15 minutes, some days it's 200, some days it's 500, some days it's 700, okay? And then I do that Monday through Thursday. And then I rest. I feel like it's a workout routine. Then I rest Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Exactly. And then come Monday, I use a tool called Manage Flitter. They have a paid version or free version. You can use the free version. It's what I use. Works great. And if they don't follow me back between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, boom, you're out of my world, right? Because I only want the real people. Now, here's the reason for this, though. Because on Twitter, there's this game that we have to keep our ratios the same or pretty close, because we can't continue playing the game. So if you don't follow me back, you're f***ing up my game, and I can't have you in my world if you're messing up my game, right? Okay, so like here's what happens with Twitter if you're starting brand new. You have the ability to follow 2,000 people, and then they're gonna cap you. And after you hit the 2,000 mark, and really it's around like the 1861 mark or something, that they will only allow you to follow 10% more that are following you. So if you're following 2,000 and nobody's following you, you can't follow anybody. If you're following 2,000 and 2,000 people are following you, you can only follow 200. Does this make sense? Yeah. Right? So we have to learn to keep our ratios, like I try to keep mine lower, that way I can continue playing my game. And so now here's tools to automate this. Now here's what's interesting. Let me back up a little short story. I went with the musician, the country music artist. We grew his audience from nothing to over 10,000 in 10 weeks by just following the strategy, okay? That's it. And it was all manual, We did not use any software because I wanted to experiment, because I've used TweetAdder in the past, back in the day, and I was like, what would happen if I didn't use any software? Like, is it possible to actually grow a real following with real people that I know, kind of know, without using software? And that's how I came up with this idea of the following game. And it works great. Works really good. The other piece that I do this that I forgot to mention on the tweeting schedule is every morning, how many in here is a Gmail user? Most of you guys, awesome. So you know how you have the tabs now? Like you have the whatever tab, the promotions and social? Okay, some people hate them, I love them. They've simplified my life. So what I do is when I will follow people, this is how I try to keep up my analytics too. When somebody follows me, it will go into my social folder in Gmail and say, so-and-so is now following you. Okay, so I try to keep this cleaned out because then it allows me to see my ROI that, holy shit, I had 120 people follow me yesterday from my 15 minutes, right? And so, but there's also interesting things. So now if you start paying attention, you're like, okay, what did I do that day? I followed Marie Forleo. Cool, make a note. Next day, I'm like, I'm going to go find out if Sandy Krakowski's followers like me and my message and vibe with me. So I do the same thing. Then I realized I did the same thing. I followed like maybe 300, and only 20 people followed me back. I'm like, her people hate me. Cool. All right. So mark that one off the list and find another person, right? Does this make sense? Okay. And so every morning what I would do after I was going and responding to everybody like, thanks for favoring, da-da-da, appreciate the retweet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I'd also give all the new followers a shout out. And I'd say, awesome new followers, and I may fill that tweet full of however many people I can get in it. And it may take me 20 tweets to get everybody in there, but everybody's getting noticed. And that was that engagement piece that I was talking to you about, right? And genuinely caring about the people and welcoming them. And then I also split tested and was trying like words like awesome, epic, rad, cool. All of those converted really well for me rather than welcome or great. I don't know.
Swanky.
Swanky? I haven't tried that one. That one may work for you. I don't know if it'd work for me. Okay, cool. And so that's what I was talking about, the shout out to the followers. So now here's where I'm at on Twitter. I'm curious to go back to the automation and come in with the same game, right? So from here on out, I'm going to go back and start using TweetAdder. They upgraded to 4.0. You have to run a proxy server, I think, to start automating it or having like a own machine that's running all the time to make it work. But the proxy servers aren't very expensive, like $2 a month. 5 minutes? Perfect, 5 minutes, we're good. And then I used manage, flitter, unfollow, and then Nick turned me on to Twins, where you can buy some targeted followers. My only caution on it, I'm going to test it, but my only caution is I don't like quality. I'd rather have quantity. It will outperform quality every single day, right? So focus on real relationships. Do what?
Twitter. Just on Twitter.
Yeah.
Did you get that backwards?
I did. So quality. Sorry. Quality. No. Thank you. No, I'm talking about quality over quantity. I would rather have quality over quantity. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. A little bleep out that of the presentation. Cool. So TweetAdder is just a software. So it allows you purchase it, it allows you to sync your account with the software and then automate. So you literally can go to like Marie Forleo's account, import all of her followers, and then you can say, follow all these people, only limit it to like 250 a day, follow every 2 minutes, and that's always running. Just boom, 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 boom.
Just a quick question. I wear a lot of hats, right? So, martial arts school owner,
Right.
consultant, social media, blah, blah, blah. I can't do all of those.
Of course.
I do all of them?
No.
No, I can't.
Here's what I always tell people. Find 2 things you want to master for, like currently, if you're starting out, for your traffic sources. If you want to master this, do it. If you don't, don't. Like if Facebook ads are running great for you, which I run Facebook ads.
No, I'm just
it's
saying my
great.
description of me.
Oh, yeah, and your description of you, then figure out who you are as a person. Like, I know you wear a lot of hats, but you're a martial artist person, you're a coach, and you're a business owner. Like, what kind of sums you up right there?
That's
I mean,
right there.
Or a hat
Yeah.
connoisseur.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
Exactly.
I'll show anybody TweetAdder and the other one.
Awesome.
On a break, if anybody wants to see it.
Sweet.
It's like the lifeblood of my downloads.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
And it's from connecting with the audience, like all the time. Yeah.
Crush it in 90 days, right?
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so here's my last step. Okay, I think it's actually giving you guys the PDF. So if you guys will go to ajmx.com/lifeonfire, all you have to do is go directly, and there's like no opt-in, nothing. There's nothing for sale. It's just so you guys can download a PDF for the Excel document. That way you guys can have it, right? That's it. So just like go get it, download it.